This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
Thank you, Luca Perich, for that lovely intro to our wonderful show, Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esther, and with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber of the Burger Pits,
Phil, Filmy, and Perich.
Hey, Phil, Filmy, and Perich. Yes, you and that Luca kid. Are you guys related in any way? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's a little cooler than you.
I was going to say,
to be honest with you. Phil.
Yeah, I'm not as cool as him.
No, he is way cooler. So it's like, I'd like to say you're, because you share some facial features. I'm not going to deny it. But, yeah, he seems like just way cooler than you.
He is. He's smarter. He's prettier.
Yeah. Hey, you must have married well, Philip.
Yes, I did.
You must have married well. Okay, moving right along. Tonight's episode of Superconnectivity, we're going to talk about a lot of things, including WandaVision. So they have put out a casting notice, for those who don't know, for WandaVision, for a teenage Skrull named Teddy. And here's the thing, Philip. I'm trying to understand what WandaVision is going to be. And part of me thinks she's in prison.
Okay.
I think that, because here's the thing of it, you know? She was a terrorist. She's not well. She is strong enough to freaking kill Thanos. You know, really, you know, kind of this moment where you realize, why were we keeping her up in that tower the whole time? Maybe we should have had her on the battlefield the whole time. She could be like, you know, you, Thanos, I'm crushing your head.
Well, what? I mean, again, hindsight and everything, but do you think it... she was guarding the Vision, so Thanos didn't get to that last stone, supposedly, yeah. and two, she didn't want to leave him anyway. But it was like, you know, she was the last line of defense. She was the last line of defense. If Thanos gets past all the rest of us, you keep him from getting that stone, or else you destroy it.
Yeah, and within that entire concept, we see that if she had just reached up to Thanos, lifted him up, and but also did not like that.
But also, didn't they set up that she was the only one who could destroy that stone too?
Yeah, they had suggested that, and she does destroy the stone, and then Thanos just reverses it, you know, because really they should have had her destroy his. Yeah. Really, the smart thing was, wait, why don't I just destroy all of your stones?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wait, no, don't destroy my stones. I just got these. Oh, man.
But you don't think WandaVision is like her altering reality? Because maybe, you know, people are like, we can't bring the Vision back. That stone's gone. You know, Thanos vaporized them all. They're gone. So it's her altering reality to bring him back, and it sets up this whole sitcom thing or whatever. But
I mean, that's a possibility. But I'm also wondering, that's the two possibilities.
Yeah. I mean, it leads into Doctor Strange too, right? You know, the multiverse of madness. So is she using multiversal whatever, or is she pulling from the multiverse maybe, or is she breaking the barrier to the multiverse? Or
she's altering reality. So we're definitely, I get the feeling we're getting into those reality altering powers. But part of me thinks, because we've got Captain Marvel, Photon in this.
Oh yes.
The real Captain Marvel in this. Darn you, Cloak and Dagger, for stealing her origin. You know, I get the feeling that Monica Rambeau is going to be the wacky neighbor who keeps on checking on Wanda, seeing how she's doing. And she's like, oh, everything's fine. Da 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 da. WandaVision. And I get the feeling what we're going to see is this increasingly difficult world where she's trying to make her perfect world with her perfect husband and her perfect children. And I think we're going to have an arc with Teddy and her son being gay, and how she's like, it's not perfect anymore, but maybe it is. And that's the resolution of the series, arguably. because obviously you're not going to have like, oh, she's like all down without her son being gay, because no, that's not how it's going to end. But
okay,
if she's starting from that 50s mindset,
yeah, well,
you got to get that evolution.
I mean, her upbringing too might have been very old fashioned, but do you think? I mean, pretty much, if they're going to have a kid or two, is it going to be like in the comics where she uses her powers to like basically make it so they can have a kid, or when she brings Vision back, do you think at least temporarily does she bring him back as human?
Well, I'm not sure. We see him as human in the images.
Yes,
he is. He's not putting on that.
But we saw in Infinity War he was able to like make himself look human.
Well, yeah. I think he will be fully functional. I think, and for what it's worth, that's always been the big question.
Yes.
Because even when they said, oh, those were just Master Pandemonium's parts of his soul. Actually, it was actually parts of Mephisto's soul. Because Franklin smashed him. Franklin Richards! Is there nothing you don't destroy when you touch it? Franklin Richards causes so many problems in the Marvel universe.
Oh, we'll get to that Star Brand.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you get the feeling like, you know what? I kind of think maybe Rito's right about the mental dampeners. It's like, you know what? Let's just slow this down here, Frankie. We love you, Frankie.
Oh my lord! You want the ultimate conspiracy theory? What if when Sue was pregnant with Franklin, he got like taken over by some like evil, like cosmic entity or something?
By the force of Uncle Ben. No, honestly, I actually think Franklin is just pure cosmic power.
Pure cosmic rays.
From radioactive sperm and radioactive egg, man. It's like you got that cosmic radiation going through you.
And now it's like, some alien being threw the cosmic rays at them. So, hey, anything's up for grabs now.
Everything. Oh, gosh. Gosh and monsters. I mean, and actually, to be fair, the alien sending, that was actually meant to be a communication device. It was,
yeah.
So, like, it's interesting how it's, like, evolved. Because they originally realized that, no, someone was sending in this cosmic ray to sort of, because that's how their species communicated, was through genetic manipulation.
Yes.
Which is a weird way to communicate. I'm just going to say it. Although that did raise a weird question to me. Why is Dr. Nemesis not on Krakoa? Is he like the one guy who sees through it?
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I did read Agents of Wakanda, the newest Agents of Wakanda. Yeah, that is weird. Because I was thinking that. I was like, why?
But you also notice he's the only one not drinking Kool-Aid right now.
Plus they have like 20 mutant books. Like, there's not room for him. I'm like, just like, yeah.
Well, it's just interesting. It's interesting to me that Dr. Nemesis... Because to me, it's like, oh, you're bringing in Mr. Sinister, but not Dr. Nemesis? It's like, gee, we need a guy who knows about mutant genetics. Like, just super smart on mutant genetics. Hey, we have this guy who's like an ally of ours who's really super cool and smart on that kind of stuff. No, get that guy who's evil, who we've been fighting every week. He'll help.
Well, maybe
but
that's
he's not really a mutant. Don't care.
Maybe that's a sign that something's wrong. Yeah.
Clearly, everything is wrong with Krakoa.
I mean, I was looking it up to double check. Yeah, he is a mutant. So yeah, I don't know why he's.
Yeah, he is like a bona fide mutant. He's not Mr. Sinister, like, mutating himself.
Oh. What if he's like a sleeper agent? What if he's the agent the mutants sent to keep an eye on Black Panther?
No.
He
hasn't. No, I mean, it's possible, but to me, it's like, no, he clearly hasn't drunk the Kool-Aid. He's clearly smart enough to know what y'all is doing. That ain't right. He is saying that is not. There is something wrong with this picture. This is not the way any of you people should be behaving. None of you are like this, except for because like Apocalypse, you're being way too nice. Honestly, I think Mr. Sinister is running the whole thing. I think he judged up his Madeline Pryor clone, got that dang telepathy thing working. There we go. Stuck that Madeline Pryor telepathy brain in a brand new Charles Xavier body, and just like playing it like a Game Boy.
I mean, I think someone's manipulating something because Moira McTaggart hasn't been seen in a couple months, so it's like, where'd she go?
She's probably dead again.
After House of X and stuff, I haven't seen her, so it's like, where,
Yeah. Honestly, the whole thing is crazy.
And they keep adding more X-Men books. They just announced another one
well,
today.
we're going to do the X-Men versus Fantastic Four because that's the whole thing. Everyone wants to get to Franklin because he's the one who messes it up.
That's fine. X-Men, that sounds like something fun, and it's a miniseries, but they keep adding like ongoing X-Men books, and it's like, I think after House of X, I think they started with like 5 or 6, and now they keep adding more. I'm like, who's buying all these books?
Yeah, it's a conspiracy, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know. Do they even sell that well? Because like Black Cat's one of Marvel's biggest selling books this year.
Yeah. I mean,
so I don't know if they're really selling that well. It's like, I mean, it's canon and it's an epic story, and I guess it's good.
I guess they're trying to say, maybe they're trying to see which mutants sell. I don't know, because it seems like basically everyone's in a book now. Each team has like their own book now.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Did you see what the new Prestige format book that's coming out is going to be?
What? Maybe.
God Loves Man Kills,
yeah.
The extended cut.
Mm-hmm.
We're basically getting a director's cut of a comic book now, which I think is brilliant.
I've seen that before with like smaller ones where it's like, they'll give you like notes in the back, like, the writer and like sketches.
I get the feeling they're adding extra scenes.
Oh.
So it's like we're going to get more of like what happens to Charles in the Mindscape.
Oh.
Where Stryker is manipulating him. They're going to get more. We'll get backstory on that random senator who turns out was a mutant the whole time. Which, not for nothing, as it turns out, there's like 10 mutants in the Senate. Because you also had that one African-American mutant who could like make... that you saw this in one episode. I forget even what book it was. What crossover event where you found out that one senator because Beast was in that, but one senator makes like all of the monuments of Washington, D.C. Animate and like beat off some kind of alien invasion or some sort. Beat an alien invasion. Physically, they beat them.
Yes. I'm taking your hole. But I just wonder, why are they coming back to that old story unless you think Disney's going to, when they bring them back, is Disney going to be doing something with that storyline maybe?
Well, God Loves Man Kills was the best X-Men story ever told. I mean, that is the X-Men. That is what makes the X-Men good, is God Loves Man Kills.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, and it's like ridiculous because they like always want to like touch it, but they never want to like embrace it. It's weird because like then they make like yes, Stryker did have a military background in the story, but the idea is that he was the fundamentalist, And I'm going to tell you this: you make a fundamentalist preacher the villain, you're going to sell that in China. They do not like religion in China. They say, hey, look, we're making the religious guy be a charlatan. You guys like that, right? And they're like, yeah, dang it. Have some Chinese yen, Have our new bit yuan, or whatever they're calling it. But, yeah, it's just, yeah. I do think that they are, trying to find, I think they're trying to find where they want the mutants to be.
Yeah, but to bring it full circle, you know who else is in on Krakoa? As far as I know, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yeah, and again, not for nothing. We already had them. We don't need to canonize them.
Yeah.
They're fine just the way they are. I mean, and for what it's worth, it's like, well, so obviously not every mutant's on Krakoa, and that's one thing we can say. But, it does seem like there's just so much weird going on in Krakoa, and it's like, I mean, I don't see how anyone could see this and not think it's weird, not think it's bad, troublesome.
Yeah, I mean, all those mutants now seem like, I don't know, most of them seem like villainous now.
Well, I almost get the feeling like they're using that whole mental manipulation to make everyone go, these aren't the droids we're looking for.
Yes.
Sort of like in that, what was it called? The Marvel's sort of Dark Twisted parody where they did the idea of the Marvel story, but they made them all dark twisted versions of themselves. Was it called The Remains I forget what it was called, but basically in that one, like Charles Xavier makes himself president of the United States because he basically just controls everyone to make everyone vote for him.
Oh, was that Earth X?
No. It wasn't Earth X. No, okay. It was it was meant. You remember the Marvel series? You know, the
Yeah,
Alex Ross hand-painted, beautiful. So it's basically that same idea, but like in an alternate universe where essentially, and it comes down to like the basic difference is that Ben Grimm doesn't go up in the shuttle, and instead Dr. Doom goes up with them, and they all die horribly because they get. They say they got some grad student to pilot it, some dude named Von Doom.
Oh no!
And and then everything just goes to heck because Ben is like, you know, and Ben says, you know, I always feel like, man, if only I had been there, maybe I could have gotten them home, maybe I could have piloted them safely. And he's like racked with guilt, and he's like, maybe then things wouldn't have gone so wrong.
Yeah.
Because it follows the same guy from Marvels, you know, and then like in that one, like Peter Parker gets bit by a spider, and the spider like gives him a horrible spider wasting disease.
Oh yeah.
And then like, you know, the guy, Phil catches it and he dies at the end of it too. So it's a sad story. Rick Jones is dying of radiation poisoning, and yeah, it's messed up. It's a dark and twisted Marvel universe, to be sure. But anyway, what were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about WandaVision, then we talking about X-Men.
Yeah, we jump around on this show a lot. Someone should really keep this show under control.
What do you?
But,
good.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about the WandaVision idea and what we're going to see this and the introduction of Hulkling in this, because as I said, if you're going to introduce Hulkling, that really implies you're going to also introduce Wiccan.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to introduce Wiccan and Hulkling, and I forget what Wiccan's brother's name is, the guy who's basically just
like a Quicksilver, Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, yeah. Who's the Quicksilver guy? I forget his name.
I forget, but I mean, you know they're going to spin out a Young Avengers because I mean Kate Bishop's coming on that Hawkeye series, which got delayed.
Well, yeah, and you know they did delay the Hawkeye series, although as I said, you know, it's kind of hard to say you delay it when we didn't know when it was coming out anyway.
Exactly. That's my other thing. When are they going to, I mean, supposedly Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, What If, I mean, they're supposedly all coming this year. When are we going to get an announcement of the dates for any of these things?
Well, I get the feeling that basically, I think what it is they decided, and it's interesting because it shows how fluid productions can be, because they obviously decided, you know what, let's bring in Hulkling now. Because we want to build our Young Avengers story. And so we're going to bring them in. We're going to bring it back. And, you know, I also get the feeling there's going to be a story where we're going to find out that there's been more superhumanity in the past than we've known about. Because I do think that part of the thing that's going to be interesting is having characters be of age-appropriate position. So bringing back Power Pack, but as you know, young adults instead of children.
Yes.
But they'd always been around. They were Power Pack, but they were just off the grid, you know?
Okay.
In the same way they'll do with the Fantastic Four. We're not going to get a Fantastic Four origin. We're going to get Fantastic Four as they are now in the comic books, as an established family. But they just haven't been hanging around with everyone. You know? Because that's the thing. And that's always, you know, to be fair, that's always the problem with these superpowered beings. Because you can do a Suicide Squad where you have a bunch of Batman villains that you put a bomb in their head and say, now go fight Superman.
No.
Because that makes sense. Or you're going to have to negotiate with actual superpowered beings who are going to say, maybe not. And to that extent, that's the whole crux of the Avengers story, is that Nick Fury manipulates the Avengers into creating themselves. Into making it think it's their idea that they created the Avengers. And so when they do create themselves as the Avengers, they don't feel manipulated because Nick Fury made sure that there was enough things he could direct in that moment to get them to do that. And of course, puts Black Widow on the team as his mole for that. So I get the feeling what we're going to be seeing in the entire Marvel that moves forward is how this now group of superhumans who are being manipulated by someone are going to move forward. And I think that's what we're looking at with WandaVision, is I think that this Wanda in the Mind of Madness, or WandaVision, is going to be, it's her madness. And it's how she's manipulating reality. And I get the feeling that basically, you know, because really what it comes down to is her, you know, Vision is dead. And they can't bring back Vision.
Mm-mm.
but maybe she can't.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
You know, and maybe, I mean, it's always this idea: are we going to ever get our Wonder Man in this? You know, are we going to get our Simon Williams in this? And of course, as you've pointed out, Zemo is in
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain America and Bucky.
Exactly.
Call it what it is.
Unless they're saving that as a surprise, it's going to be like, you know, once it starts, oh no, it's going to be Captain America and Bucky.
Yeah, well, because he's Bucky. It'll always be Bucky to us.
Well, I think they're keeping the Captain America part a surprise.
Yeah.
Or they change it for season 2 because he doesn't fully put on the costume until the end of the first season or something.
Well, we'll see how it goes. And I'm sure there's going to even be a whole thing where, like, you know, maybe Falcon's like, well, maybe you should have the shield. And Bucky's like, I don't think I've really got to hold the shield.
Or season 1, he has to fight John Walker for the shield.
Well, he's going to have to fight John Walker. And again, like I said, I do wonder if they're going to try and merge D-Man and John Walker in this.
Oh, maybe.
I know that was just his hippie beard, that actor. He's trying to do he was doing the hippie man. That kind of patience. I could never have that patience. I could never have the patience to have the full on beard.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, he did it, but it's shaved by the time he's John Walker. So I don't know if he's going to do D-Man. But when you look at him, it's like, oh wow, a guy with a big red beard, huh? He's supposed to be John Walker, is he? Not D-Man. But anyway.
Oh, I saw an interesting theory online tonight about Black Widow.
Yes.
What if?
Oh yes. I'm sorry. What?
What if that's what someone was saying? What if that's really her? Because what if the Black Widow who died in Endgame was a Skrull? Skrulls are in play. Skrulls are in play.
Skrulls are in play. It would be very interesting. Although, again, it comes to this question about sacrifice.
Yeah.
And is the sacrifice of a Skrull that you really didn't have a relationship with going to be worth it for the Soul Stone to release itself? Or maybe, although you could make the argument that the Soul Stone, like, knew this was important.
Or what if, I mean, remember Secret Invasion? Those Skrulls were so deep undercover, they were, conditioned to think they were the people they're actually impersonating. So maybe she thought she was the Black Widow. Well,
yeah, and for what it's worth, when we see Nick Fury in Tahiti at the end of Captain Marvel, maybe that's kind of an implication there that they have that mind manipulation technology. Since clearly Skrulls are going to be a thing because we do know that Teddy is a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going into this. There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm not sure where we're going to go with it. But one thing I do know, speaking of long red hippie beards, did you read Dr. Doom number 4?
Yes, I did.
This was a weird issue.
Yes.
Opening up with them finding some homeless dude who's actually the secret illegitimate son of the former Baron. Yeah, which is just weird. Again, like I say, it's like I've always felt that that's the whole point of the Von Doom name. He is actually the true line, and that these are the pretenders who took over the different house. But yeah,
you know what else?
No one's ever going to embrace that, even though it's obvious.
Yeah, you know what I was almost thinking about this, the whole black hole thing, the thing on the moon and stuff. What if it's like, because he's seen like, he saw that other timeline where he was like married, had a family, everything. What if like that black hole kind of like fractured the timeline?
Oh, well, I think someone fractured the timeline, and that's sort of the question here: is who did the fracturing? And you notice that the point that gets made in this is that the person who put out the hit on him is apparently the woman he marries in that alternate future.
Yes.
So that's what's weird. And I love Taskmaster in this. Taskmaster, of course, is going to be featured strongly in Black Widow.
Yes.
Which I cannot wait for, by the way. I really cannot wait for
I know.
this Black Widow film. It is going to be awesome. Yeah, it is just great. And you see him with Dr. Doom and MODOK hanging out. And I like that they're kind of playing nicely with like MODOK's motivation in this. Is he a true villain? Is he just having an intellectual conversation with Dr. Doom in this? You know? And we see Tony's like, yeah, I might even need to call Doom on this black hole issue on the moon. It's getting crazy. So yeah, I like Dr. Doom number 4. It was an enjoyable book.
Yes.
I'm not sure That's always the problem with the Doctor Doom books. Is that they're kind of, Doctor Doom books are kind of like Gwenpool books. They make for a very interesting character study, but how much of that ever translates into what that character actually is always hotly debatable.
Yes.
And the best ones tell a good story, but never violate who that character is at his core. And sometimes even the better ones do violate that, but then it's never like that again. It's like when Gwenpool is sad because she knows the minute she is no longer associated with Batroc, he's not going to be this wise father figure character anymore. He's going to go back to being just Batroc the Leaper, Although, for what it's worth, I think they've actually given him a lot more respect since then. Actually, I think they gave him some respect before. I think people have been trying to really give a redemption arc to Batroc.
Oh yeah.
For a while now, pretty much since he was in Winter Soldier, the movie. I think there's been a real push. Batroc's not that bad. He's actually kind of a cool BA in his own way. He's eccentric, but aren't all supervillains? He's like the ultimate henchman. So yeah. I think they've done when Batroc went on the date with Black Cat. I really felt they gave real good respect to Batroc at that, and I like that. You read Agents of Wakanda as well, right?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about these live wires? Aside from this being kind of a backdoor pilot for live wires, do we need another story about sentient AI?
Yeah.
Doing stuff?
No. I just read it for the Deadpool.
He's Deadpool-y.
Oh, and they did mention the Black Panther versus Deadpool miniseries. You know who wrote that? Our friend Kibblesmith.
Oh yeah, Kibblesmith. Yes.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that, yes. I thought I was going to say Kibblesmith, but I never want to say it because I always think that, and then it's like, because I didn't read those series, but I know that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Kibblesmith, and Kibblesmith has a new book coming out. What's his new book?
Oh, yeah, they did announce that.
I've forgotten what it is already again.
Yeah, it was another Marvel book, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got a new Marvel book coming out. They still love him, even though they killed Loki for some reason.
I wonder if they just put the Loki thing on hold until that series comes out. That's another series, Loki. When's that coming out?
Yeah, well, exactly. And they've shot stuff for it because he's time traveling.
Exactly.
I want him to meet Venus. That's all I want. I want a Loki-Venus matchup. It's his canonical first appearance.
Oh, that's right. Kibblesmith's going to be writing New Warriors.
There you go. And I think he's going to be fantastic in New Warriors.
Yeah.
I love when New Warriors. Speedball's not in it though, is he? Nah, it's too
Oh wait, he might. That might be him on the cover. I know it's Night Thrasher. We got Night Thrasher, Firestar, Rage. I think Namor.
Oh, okay. We still got the old gang back together.
Looks like most of them, except for I don't think Nova's here. I don't think Marvel Boy's here. But yeah, the rest of them are.
Well, Nova.
Nova.
Nova's doing his own Nova thing. Nova's Conan now.
Oh yeah, it looks like Speedball's on the one cover.
Oh, well, great. Because honestly, I love Speedball. Good old Rob. What's Robbie's last name? I forget his name.
Is it Baldwin?
Yeah, Robbie Baldwin. Yeah,
another Baldwin.
One of the Baldwins. Yeah, Robbie Baldwin. Yeah. Oh, Speedball's awesome. I remember I read first issue of Niles the Cat. Oh, Niles.
So that's what I'm saying. It looks like the original
Cat Niles.
It looks like the original lineup, except for Nova and Justice, Marvel Boy, whatever you want to call them, and then some newer characters.
Yeah. Well, but I'm glad Firestar's there. So that's good.
Oh yeah.
Our original amazing friend.
I'm reading this article. I guess it's saying Justice is going to be there, but he's torn between worlds because of his bigger role in Outlawed.
Okay. So he's an outlawed? Is he 24?
That's what I thought. I'm like
you're not a teenage super. Well, maybe he was one of the original teenage superheroes.
Yeah, maybe because he was
because he was the Thing's sidekick. For those who remember, another great D-Man tie-in. Oh, there we go. You get Justice and D-Man meeting up. It's like, yeah, man, Thing ever call you? No, Thing never calls me. Cap ever call you? No, Cap never calls me. They're busy. I understand. Oh, gosh. More D-Man. Oh.
That's right.
That's what we all want is more D-Man. I think I speak for the entire world when I say more D-Man.
Well, hopefully he shows up in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then maybe they'll start putting more comics again.
That would be awesome. Or at least the Unlimited Class Wrestling Federation.
Oh, yes.
We need, and nothing else. It's a great way to introduce Unis the Untouchable. He was an Unlimited Class wrestler, if you remember.
Well, they can bring that in because, I mean, well, I was going to say John Walker wasn't in that, but like the same.
Yeah, it's the Power Broker.
Malice, Malice and the Power Broker were giving guys strength augmentation.
You know who else? I don't know if it was the Unlimited Class Wrestling, but was originally the girl grapplers?
Yeah.
With Pound Cakes and Screaming Mimi, who eventually becomes...
Mimi, yes. Songbird, yes.
Songbird gets us our Zemo-powered Thunderbolts.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, you got some Zemo, you got some Unlimited Class Wrestling, you got a Screaming Mimi in there. There's going to be stuff to happen. And really, at this point, superheroes are so commonplace. The idea of superhero wrestling is a logical next step. I actually always thought that what would be really awesome, I wanted to do a story. This is one of my fan theory stories. It's like, if you could write any story, it's like, I would love to write a supervillain fantasy camp where like supervillains got guys like the Shocker got tired of doing the whole supervillain thing and just decided, you know what, let's do a fantasy camp for superheroes. You'll fight a real supervillain. And it's like Man Mountain Marco and the Shocker. And they're like, yeah, we're going to teach you how to be a superhero. We're going to give you some crazy tech and we'll teach you. Oh, no, you beat me. Face some real live supervillains in the safety of a Florida Everglades swamp. So I think superhero fantasy camp would be huge.
Yes.
Get like a bunch of retired superheroes, guys that don't want to get punched anymore. It's just like real baseball fantasy camps where you go there and you get to like play with like, you know, a guy who's like in his 60s now, but he's still in way better shape than you'll ever be.
Yeah.
But you get to feel like, yeah, I could have been a superhero if I'd like applied myself. Superhero fantasy camp. That is the next big story out there. That's one of my stories. I have it. I got like 8 episodes. If you're ready, Adult Swim. So Netflix, I hear you're just throwing money at people, so give us a call. That's Capes and Lunatics. What's the number, Phil?
614-382-2737.
Yes, we accept all offers. At least I do.
And Capes and Lunatics at gmail.com.
What else was there? Oh, let's talk about Iron Man 2020.
Number 1, yes.
And the self-fulfilling prophecy of Robot Revolution. What the heck is going on in this book?
I mean, it's spinning out of stuff that happened in Tony Stark Iron Man.
Well, I know, and I know Aaron Stack's like, oh, Robot Revolution, man. And it's like, really? Robot Revolution? And it's like, we really don't treat our AIs poorly. And it's like, no, we're going to start treating the AIs really, really poorly.
I mean, they've basically been doing this since Tony Stark Iron Man number 1. I get what they're I mean, I think they're trying to go for the whole racism and oppression angle, but I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it with the AIs.
Like, no one was racism and oppressioning them prior to this.
It's just...
I mean, most of the oppression of AI has come from other AI. It's been like Ultron, freaking like Hank Pymming Jocasta. That was the most of the AI oppression we had. I mean, granted, you know, Mad Thinker was a jerk to freaking Quasimodo, sure, but you know, he was the Mad Thinker. He was a jerk to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's like saying, oh, Harvey Weinstein is horrible to people. It's like, yes, I know. But that's not every movie producer, I hope. I think
then again. I think they're just like, I mean, I don't get it either, but I think they're just like, oh, just because you build us doesn't mean you can give us orders.
Well, no, but then it's like, no, because we build we can kill you.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the heck? And they're like, well, you're going to kill all the AIs in your plant. We're going to kill all the babies in the maternity ward. It's like, really?
Yeah.
What in God's name is going on here? On either person's level, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Especially since if you're an AI, you know, oh, well, actually, you can back us up on a floppy disk. We've known that since Transformers, when they had Optimus Prime on the and an 8-inch floppy.
Yes.
It's only like a 4 gig program, a 4-bit program. Everyone knows that. AI is really a basic program. It's a very simple, put an infinite loop of a yes and then a go to line 10, and you can do AI in basic. It's real simple. Yeah, it's basic. You're basic. So yeah, I don't know, but I was not impressed by Iron Man 2020.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, to be fair, I like the big reveal. Oh, AI now, Tony Stark now says he's an AI. He's an organic AI, but he's an AI, which is, I don't know, it kind of has that Rachel, what's her name? Rachel Dolezal. I identify as.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think you're really an AI, Tony. Because you're not. Because you're a clone. Yeah. But of course he'll say, well, no, because I can break down all of my memories. These are all of my memories. They're an AI chip. Although again, the What guys kind of, when they were doing their review of this, is like, well, why is this any different than the last time Tony rebooted his brain?
Exactly. During, was it Dark Reign, when Norman Osborn was after, was in for, and he just basically wiped his mind and rebooted him. Yeah, why is that any different?
Yeah, well, of course he used an old copy, so he doesn't know who Happy Hogan is anymore. That's that. But it also shows the limitations of it. Yeah. To be fair, whose Happy line actually says is, because Happy Hogan was with him since the beginning.
Oh yeah.
That means that it was a snapshot of his brain at that time.
Yeah, it wasn't everything he ever knew. It was just,
It wasn't everything he ever knew, everything he ever was. It was, as we say, an approximation, as with Doc Ock and Peter Parker and all that kind of stuff. It's not really who they are. But again, as I say, I do feel that clones have souls. I think probably some of the AIs have souls. In fact, we know AIs have souls because it was said John Hammond has a soul.
Jim Hammond, yeah.
Jim Hammond, sorry. The original Human Torch has a soul.
Yes.
Arguably, the Vision has a soul.
Yes.
Because it's the same basic construction. Arguably, Ultron has a soul.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Wizard, it's like, there's dozens of these souls in the afterlife. Because Ultron just smashes his own bodies all the time. And you gotta think that those Ultron souls are probably really kind of annoyed at that,
Yeah. But I mean, they're just doing this so they can spin out all these miniseries, because I think Iron Man 2020 is 6 issues. Then they got Machine Man 2020, Force Works 2020, Rescue 2020, Ironheart 2020, and then that. Of course, it's an event, so you have to have Wolverine. I guess that Wolverine android.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what Wolverine is, but.
Well, they mentioned there's a Wolverine. I didn't even know there was a Wolverine android.
It's from, what was it, the 90s? I mean, it was
clearly someone's got AI is a thing. And it's as I've said, our biggest threat from AI is the sex bot apocalypse, not the robo-apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's what if AI made life so much easier that we just stopped doing stuff and just, had them be our porn bots?
Well, I think in this comic they're going for the lazy version of Skynet, maybe.
Well, that's all. Honestly, it's very lazy. That's what I'll say. It is very, very lazy. It is a lazy version of AI. It is because it's not even really AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just people that are robots.
And
it's okay, so it's people that are robots, but it's but then they're not really robots anymore. Then there'd be people.
Yeah.
And it's even if they were just super advanced, I don't know. This is the problem with any AI storyline, is that once a character has an internal dialogue,
mm-hmm.
it stops being an AI. It stops being an AI and actually becomes a real intelligence.
Yes.
Once it has conflict, that isn't a logic loop. If it's not everything I say is a lie and I am lying, and then it makes their brain explode, then it's not an AI anymore. It's actually something that can just say, well, no, you're trying to do a thing there.
Yeah, I mean, I get what he's trying to do. I mean, I don't know if it's just Dan Slott's writing, because.
Yeah, and then again, like I said, what it does, the intelligent, the lovable robots, we've had those since Star Wars.
Yeah.
The sentient, lovable robots, we've had those since Star Wars. We've had those since Hitchhiker's Guide. I don't mind them. What I mind is the idea of people just actively attacking them.
Yeah.
and treating them like, freaking slaves. Treating them like I don't think humans would treat AI like slaves.
I think I have the same problem you do, but I think Slot's going for the racism, like, oh, you don't know your place, and it's
but it's like,
I know.
First off, as they say, sci-fi racism is always problematic.
Yeah,
because it's always a watered down version of racism,
and especially because when it's not the same species, it doesn't like speak to
Well, but though, I mean, even beyond that, it's just the idea that I don't know, I'm not feeling basically Iron Man 2020. I don't feel it. I'm not gonna feel it.
Yeah,
Arno Stark. Go back to the freaking Iron Lung with your freaking cloned AI parents.
I know. Did he just bring them back to torture them? Because he's like,
literally, yes. That's the entire plot. The entire plot is Arno Stark is an unlovable, horrible human being.
Oh yeah, and he's just like, you just kept me in this Iron Lung and threw me in a room and never visited me. Now I'm just gonna keep you locked in this tower, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's like
he's petty.
That's. You know what it is? It's like that's how they were drawn. Someone drew them to be horrible parents because someone decided they needed an Arno Stark.
Yes.
That was the parent. They need. It's like none of it makes. This is freaking Gwen Stacy's Goblin Babies all over again. It's like, who greenlit this?
Wow, and
who decided that's the story we're going to have as the deep, dark, secret twist? Franklin, why did you put this universe back? Why did you put that stuff back?
Well, and it's 2020, so they're like, we got to do something with Iron Man 2020. We have to do something with Iron Man 2020.
Just have it be his cousin again.
I don't think it was his cousin. It was like a descent. I don't know if it was like.
Well, it was his nephew. It wasn't his actual.
Yeah. It was something like that.
It wasn't.
It wasn't a kid.
Clearly, I know he wasn't supposed to be a direct line descendant of Tony Stark. So he was. So I think the idea was maybe I don't think it was supposed to be a direct line descendant.
Like a third cousin or something. He had the Stark name and he had a similar mustache, but that was about it. Yeah.
Well, who was that? Who was that one? Was it Mortimer or something?
What?
The other Stark, Morgan Stark.
Morgan, yeah.
Yeah, so he was like Morgan Stark's kid was the idea.
Yeah, because Morgan was Tony's cousin, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think he was supposed to be a descendant of Morgan Stark because Tony died without heirs, and so it did all eventually revert to Morgan and his family because they were the closest blood relatives because apparently Tony didn't create a will because he thought he'd live forever. And so that's how we get into Arno Stark.
Yes.
But as luck would have it, he has the Stark genius, and he was going to be Arno Stark. And that was a good enough origin.
Yes.
You didn't have to tell a different origin for Arno Stark.
Now it's the brother,
We had one. So why do you want to create... Oh, no, he was actually the real child of Howard and Maria, and he was, but they tried to genetically manipulate him, and it went horribly wrong, so they had to keep him in an iron lung, and...
Unless they do a 180 and reveal, oh no, the whole thing was a lie. You are Howard and Maria's child, Tony. I was Morgan. I was Morgan's child.
I'm actually the child that the two random people had.
Exactly. I guarantee you somebody's going to retcon it to that at some point. Yes, I stole your destiny.
None of it makes any sense.
I don't know if
or the other option is that Arno is actually Howard Stark's clone. That went horribly wrong.
Oh, maybe.
Even though Zola had already perfected it.
Maybe.
I can do your clone, dude.
Again, I don't know if it's just Slot's writing, because even when he was writing Spider-Man for 10 years, a lot of the time I was just like, okay, I get it, Spider-Man. The minute he was off the book, I was like, I'm enjoying Spider-Man much more now that Slot's gone.
Well, it's. I'm actually. Slot wrote. I think when Slot wrote Hulk, I didn't like his Hulk either.
Yeah.
Did he write Hulk? Yeah,
Didn't he do some She-Hulk too? I didn't read it, but I thought he did some She-Hulk. I mean, this might be in early 2000s or something. I don't know.
I've always liked She-Hulk, so maybe that's his sweet spot. Maybe that's where he actually does it well. She-Hulk is always great.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't remember.
Sorry.
I was going to say, no, just anything of Slot's I've ever read, I've just never been like, oh, yes, this is so great,
what I was going to say is She-Hulk in Avengers is great.
Oh, yes. Oh, you want to get
And
to...
I love that they're still doing that in her head, she's still Jen.
Yes.
And she's still Jen the whole time. She's She-Hulk. But she doesn't have, like, her speech is broken.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting because it kind of, like, sort of reminds you of, just as an idea of, like, you know, people that are suffering from a stroke or people that have another disorder where their brain is fine, but their speech center is broken.
Yes.
And so Jen is like, I want to speak, but I can't in this form. And I love hearing her inner dialogue about how they're going to help the Star Brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the reveal of who is the Star Brand.
Well, we really don't, but I guessed, but they really haven't said who it is.
But we get that it is a woman.
A pregnant woman.
A pregnant woman. Now, you have a fan theory, and this is Superconnectivity. Please superconnect it for us, Philip.
Well, I know you said, I'm pretty sure it's the baby. And I said, yeah, I kind of got that too. In the 90s, pretty much the last time we saw the Star Brand was, Quasar brought it back from the new universe. He accidentally infected his girlfriend, Kayla, with it, at which point, was it Star Blast? The new universe Earth got brought over to the 616. So the Living Tribunal locked Kayla on the new universe Earth behind the force barrier and told Quasar, you can give up your quantum bands and go live with her on this Earth, but no matter what you choose, she's staying on this new universe Earth. So Quasar's like, no, it's okay.
Yeah, but then, and actually that wasn't the last time we saw the Star Brand because the Star Brand came back.
Yeah, no. I'm saying in the 90s, that's like the last time we kind of saw the new universe Earth, I think.
Well, yes, the new universe Earth.
Yeah.
Although actually we did see the new universe Earth when they did Battle World.
Yes.
And they saw that they had the Star Brand, and of course, infinite power. What if everyone had a little bit of infinite power? And then, of course, the Squadron Supreme just fan over them, as they do. Honestly, Battle World was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. The new universe, we still haven't gone back to the new universe.
That's what that's my thing. I'm like, is it still its own separate thing, or did they kind of like slowly merge it and made it part of the 616?
Well, no, I do think it's still its own thing. I think it exists as an alternate universe. Because I think, so for example,
but I mean,
when we had the Ultimates.
Yeah.
The 616 Ultimate.
Yes.
And then they brought in the DP7 group,
Okay, yes.
And they brought in these new, that were like related to them, but they were like the 616 version.
Yes.
Of the new universe characters. But that does suggest, as with the actual Ultimates, when they brought the Ultimates in, that the Ultimates still existed from their own universe. That there was that, and that's sort of the weird thing about, again, multi-universal theory, is that, yeah, you could destroy all the multiverses, but then you're only going to be able to destroy the multiverses that are connected to this multiverse. But if there's a multiverse where you didn't destroy all the multiverses, now that's a whole other multiverse. So it's like, it's crazy how it plays out, and yeah, but the new universe and the Star, and again, this whole thing where there was such loathing of Shooter, but for those who read it and are coming back as writers now,
yes,
they're like, well, you know what? Maybe it wasn't the worst thing. Maybe there's a lot here, and maybe we want to give homage to it and honor it and bring it back. And I think that's the interesting thing about comic book writing in general, is that yes, there's stuff that someone back in the day did not like, but someone liked it.
Oh yeah,
and they knew that if you just gave it a chance, you could make something good happen with it. And so Starbrand, he comes back in the 90s with Quasar, and you're going to actually resolve some stories because people felt it wasn't a bad story. For as many loud, obnoxious people in comic books who want to say good riddance to bad rubbish, there are probably a lot of other people who said, well, I don't think it was a bad idea. This stuff doesn't get greenlit by sheer force, by caveat,
Yeah.
Or not by caveat, by, I forget what the word is. When you just sort of say it and then it becomes the way we're going to do things.
Yeah.
So when you greenlit the new universe, yeah, sure, it's because this is a project that Jim Shooter wants to do and he wants to build up this idea. But the fact of the matter is that it had to be greenlit by a lot of other people. a lot of other people had to go along with the idea.
Yes.
So, even when you have people who are loud and obnoxious about it, it's like, oh, so glad it got destroyed. Let's blow up Pittsburgh just to be mean to Jim on the whole thing. I think a lot of other people said, well, no, it wasn't a bad idea. And I think there was something good here. And then maybe we should talk about it some more. So, and that's where we're at now with the Star Brand coming back. And
yeah, but it's just,
maybe this is Kayla. Maybe this is Quasar's son.
Again, it doesn't have to be Quasar's son, because once Kayla got locked on that Earth, they the last time we saw Kayla, she would I don't know, she made some friend was it Metallurge or one of the
When was the last time we saw Philip? When was the last time we saw Quasar?
Oh, he was just in Guardians of the Galaxy not too long ago.
Okay, well, where was he before that?
I mean, he's been in and out of the last couple Guardians of the Galaxy series. He was in Nova at some point.
Almost as if he was going betwixt and between other universes.
Oh, yes.
Having a conjugal visit from time to time.
I don't know. Supposedly the Living Tribunal locked that out. And the whole thing...
Well, actually, to be...
Well, the whole thing that confuses me is when Hickman was writing Avengers, it almost seemed like that Star Brand was native to the 616. So that.
But Philip, do you know who's currently dead?
Who
in the 616?
You lost me. Who?
The Living Tribunal.
Oh, yes.
The Living Tribunal got his butt done kicked by the In-Betweener, who became a whole new entity now. Yes. Remember when Franklin put the universe back?
Yes.
It's still a new universe with not all the right rules. It's almost as if it was a new universe, Philip.
Oh.
And now things ain't quite the way they used to be.
That's right. Living Tribunal dies. Franklin puts everything back. Oh, retroactive effect. That's why the Star Brand was seemed to be.
Well, yeah. Well, the idea. Well, actually, no. The Living Tribunal dies before this because the In-Betweener decides the new. What book was this? Actually, I think it was in the Ultimates book.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Star Brand showed up in Hickman's Avengers. Wasn't that 2012 or something? Showed up in
Hickman's Avengers.
That was before Secret Wars.
That was but yeah, again, like I said, first off, time's the crazy mistress.
Yes.
Space and time, none of it really means anything, especially if Reed Richards recreated the universe in 2019.
Exactly.
I'm going to put the entire universe back to 2019. That's just going to go back and reboot the whole thing and hope it turns out to be a good universe. Now I'm going to put everyone back.
And basically, when they did that, I think they just threw everything in a blender. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. And again, because really who was doing it isn't Reed Richards. It's the Molecule Man, who is actually the Beyonder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's Frank from Beyond the entire time. He is just trying to find his way. The Beyonder is just, he's from beyond, but now he's here, and now he's got to sort of make do with it.
Don't give these Jersey guys any cosmic power. Come on.
Well, he's not originally from Bayonne. He moved there.
That's true.
Technically, it was in New York, and really, it's just he says he's from beyond, and the tailor says, "Oh, from Bayonne? Yeah, I know a guy from Bayonne." And that's why he's Frank from Bayonne. When he was running with the mobsters, he decides to be the kingpin of crime, and the kingpin of America, and then the kingpin of the world, and the kingpin of the cosmos, and the kingpin of the microcosmos.
God all high and mighty after Spider-Man taught him how to use the toilet.
Well, which always struck me does that mean there's cosmically beyonder powered poop in the New York City sewers?
That sounds.
There are so many stories to be told about that.
That sounds like a Deadpool story right there.
Remember when the Beyonder was human and he had to poop? Well, where do you think all that poop wound up?
Oh.
Right here in this SHIELD special containment facility.
Who could we
to track down each individual piece of poop?
Who tracked that
down? Put it in this facility.
Who tracked that down for you?
That person just blanked out. Said, what? I have no idea what they're talking about. I do not want to know.
Who tracked down all that poo for you? Deadpool.
Yeah, probably. First job out of Dr. Kilbrew's lab.
Oh,
yeah, you got to start at the bottom. Okay, Philip. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we're good. When we hit beyond
we're good.
poo.
Let's get out of here. Philip, how can people find you?
All right. Well, if you want to get a hold of me, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. And yes, get a hold of the Capes and Lunatics, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. That's right. Hire a whole team of nerds, man. We're ready to...
Yes, I have the perfect episode for you, HBO. If you'd like a new season of Watchmen and Disney Plus, hey, I got ideas.
Hey.
Give me a call.
And hey, if any of you people just want to start a whole geek TV network or whatever, hey, I got a whole team. We got a whole podcast network behind us. I can pull even more people in. So,
Marvel, I'm going to give you this right now for free. Lil Beyonder.
Lil Beyonder. Ooh.
Lil Beyonder.
Oh.
And you know who was recently featured in the Spider-Ham book?
Who?
Beyonder.
Oh, yeah, Beyonder. Yeah.
It's all coming back, Philip. It's all coming back. 90s rule. Jim Shooter was the best.
Shooter, yeah.
Shooter.
Shooter.
Okay, Philip. If you'd like to write to me, well, not Philip, he knows my email address.
Yes.
But if you guys out there in the old, in the podcastiverse, if you'd like to write to me in the old-fashioned email way, where Maz and Paz and probably even Philip Perich did at one point in his life. Write to me in the old-fashioned email way. Do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet things like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's coming back. They promised one more season at Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIEESSER. Look for the two E's right there in the middle. For what, Philip?
For quality.
Bing!
Thank you, Maz. Oh, okay. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Super Connectivity. Thank you for connecting with us. Hey, next week, why don't you super connect with us once again? Good night.
Good night. Who knows what we'll talk about next week? We talked about Beyonder Poop this episode.
Nobody likes the Beyonder Poop, apparently. But Lilith might have enjoyed the Beyonder Poop. I don't know.
Yeah, she loves that kind of stuff.
I'm going to be honest with you. You know, right after Beyonder learned to poop, they shot, Hate Monger 3, and he, decomposes into, a jelly. That was, one of the first Scourge kills. This is in the Malice storyline on Fantastic Four.